Hello everyone. So I thought I would go through the review sheet with you, and it's up to you how you want to do this. If it will help you learn to do these along with me, please do that. If it helps you to do it first and then watch the answers, you can go ahead and try that. So it's up to you. Just make sure this review works for you. All right, so number one, find the solution for the following equations when x equals -3. Okay, so we're going to plug in -3 for x and see what our y value is. So this is -6 plus 5, y is -1. So our solution, remember, is an ordered pair. Our solution is -3, comma -1 for the first equation. All right, same thing for the next one. We're going to plug in a -3 here. Ooh, that's going to be kind of messy. So this is -3/2 equals y plus 8. I'm going to subtract the 8 from both sides. So that's -8 and a -1.5. I guess that's -9.5. Feel free to use a calculator. That's totally fine. And if you put -1.5 here, that's okay. What is the solution? It's -3, comma -9.5. So that is your solution. Okay. Number two, find the slope and y-intercept for each of the following equations. Okay, so remember, we need these equations in the form y equals mx plus b. Then the m will be your slope and the b will be your y-intercept. So let's change these things around. Over here, how do I get y by itself? I'm going to actually subtract the 3x from both sides. So subtract the 3x. Y equals, I'm going to put the term with the x first. So I'll have a -3x. And I could put plus a -5 or just -5. Either way is right. But the question was, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? So the slope here is -3. The y-intercept, which is where it would cross the y-axis, is -5. So here are your answers for letter A. Okay, letter B. Ooh, similar. How do I get y by itself? I'm going to subtract the 2x from both sides. And so I have a -2x and a +3. Okay, so the slope and the y-intercept. Slope for this one, it's always the number with the x, so it looks like it's -2. And the y-intercept is a +3. And there you go. Okay, one more. Trying to get y by itself. We're gonna, since that's a -3x, we're going to add 3x. That's gone. I have a 3x and a +6. I'm almost there. To get y by itself now, I'm going to divide by 2. So I have y equals, now this 2 has to go into both of these terms. So I'm actually going to leave it as 3/2x. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the slope for this one is 3/2, or you could say 1.5, 1.5. And the y-intercept is +3. Okay? All right, number 3 says, on a separate sheet of graph paper, graph the 3 equations above, so these 3, on the same coordinate plane. Make sure you label each line. Top half of the front page. Okay, so let's do this so I can see them here. So I can see the lines. All right, so where is my ruler? Here it is. Let's make our coordinate plane arrows and label it y. And we've got this this way, label it x. Okay, so the first one is y equals negative 3x minus 5. We already did the work here. It's going to start at negative 5, that's the y-intercept, and have a slope of negative 3. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Let's see here. All right, so I'm starting at negative 5 and a slope of negative 3. So down 3 to the right 1. You could reverse it, up 3 and left 1. That's the same. But you know a negative slope should have a line going down. So we do, and we can kind of, that's kind of a little check that we've got in our head. And we're going to label this y equals negative 3x minus 5. Okay, so there's our first one. What is the next line? Can you guys see it here? Y equals negative 2x plus 3. Okay, so the y-intercept is positive 3, right? That's where it crosses the y-axis. And it has a slope of negative 2. All right, so we're going to go down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1 as many times as you think you need it. And there we go with the next line. And that was y equals negative 2x plus 3. And our last equation over here, if you can see it, which you can't, we've got y equals 3/2 x plus 3. Okay, so we're going to start at positive 3. Oh, same spot. And this time, see how I left it as this improper fraction? That's going to help us out. 3 over 2, that means up 3 over 2. So we're going to go up 3 over 2. Up 3 over 2. And that will be the last line that we need to make. Ooh, moved it a little. And that equation is y equals 3/2 x plus 3. All right, so there is our number 3 on the separate sheet of graph paper. So we can check that. All right, let's move on here. Oh yes, number 4. Now, let's go through here. Find the slope of each line. So the first one, now remember slope is rise over run. So how much do you go up? How much do you go over? For this one, you don't go up at all. You go up 0 over whatever you want. 0 over anything, that's just a slope of 0. So for line A, any line that just goes straight across horizontally, slope is 0. Letter B, it's hard to see here. I made some points. I try to find where the line crosses, you know, hits a good spot. So it hits definitely at 0 here. Try to find points where it hits a nice cross there. So let's count. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that work here? Up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so up 3 over 4, the slope would be 3/4. All right, let's try C and D. Again, I kind of made dots where I thought it was crossing. This one's not great, but to me it looks like I'm going down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. So that would be negative 2 over 1, which is really just the same as negative 2. Ooh, and the last one, letter D. I rise any number I want, I go over 0. So let's say I rise, I don't know, 5. I go over 0. If you type in 5 divided by 0 on your calculator, it comes up with an error. This does not exist. So the slope here, they call it undefined. So any vertical line is going to be undefined. That's the slope. All right, doing great, guys. let's do one more, finish off the page. Number 5, find the slope given these 2 points. State the direction of the slope. Upward, downward, horizontal, or vertical. Okay, so this is back to using the formula. Remember, the formula is you subtract the y values and then subtract the x values. I always forget which is which, so I'm going to label these. This is my first point, that's my second point, just so I don't forget what is what there. So I'm going to say 6 minus 4 and negative 4 minus negative 2. So that's 2 over, that would be negative 2, right? Negative 4 plus 2, yep. So this slope is negative 1. Now, it wants us to say if it's upward, downward, horizontal, or vertical. What does a negative slope look like? Well, that's going to be downward. All right. Next one, I'm still going to call this my second point. So I'm going to do 1 minus 3 over 1 minus 0. So that's negative 2 over 1. I guess that's a slope of negative 2. And again, that would be downward because it's a negative slope. And the last one here, we've got 8 minus 4, right? 8 minus 4. And negative 2 minus negative 2. Ooh. That's 4 over 2 plus 2. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, negative 2 plus 2. Oh boy. So that's 4 over 0. That's the weird one that we just did here. This is going to be undefined. And which line is that? You can actually refer up here. That's going to be a vertical line. Okay. All right, so that's one side of the review sheet. And I know that took a little longer, but hopefully this video kind of helped you, or you were able to fast forward to what you needed. And I will do the same thing for the back of this sheet, or the second page of this sheet, for tomorrow. All right, have a great day. Keep the questions coming.